Welcome to the Points Taken Podcast. This is episode 43, available Thursday, January 25th, maybe Wednesday, January 24th.
Yeah, it's really becoming just a gray area on when it's going to land.
We're just putting it out there and seeing the 72 people that watch it. My name is James Keeley. With me as always is Sammy Schaefer.
Hey, everyone.
If you don't know what we do by now, come on.
Yep.
But we take underdogs, overs, and props, bet some games. We have a winning record.
Yeah.
Well, one of us does.
Yeah.
And you're almost at even.
I'm going to get it back by the end of the season.
You're getting there, baby. We're getting close to the end of season one, but it's been a lot of fun so far. Sammy, what do we have on this show?
Well, a sex icon who was bad at sex, a really bad party, and game day food for some of us.
All right, Sammy, we're 43 in.
Nice.
Episode 42. A lot of fun.
It was been a journey just to get here for sure.
I've gotten a lot of questions about you.
Oh, really?
A lot of people are very interested in your trip
Okay.
that you're taking soon.
Sure.
Not a trip on an airplane,
No.
but one through the mind.
Spiritual trip.
The recesses of the mind.
You got any specific questions for me?
Well, we had a little bit of a, I wouldn't say kerfuffle yesterday, but you said, hey, you know that segment that we've been doing for 42 episodes of Game Day Food and Drinks? Can we not do that? And I said, why? And you said, well, I have to stay on this cleanse. And I'm like, is it that strict? And you're like, it's that strict. And I'm like, as your friend, I will make this work. As your podcast partner, what is your fucking problem? Show first, Sam.
I didn't think it needed to be that strict, but the person that's coaching me through to get me through the cleanse said, you cannot do that this week.
You cannot have a game day food.
And I was like, I'm just going to do one bite. And they're like, no. And I was like, well, what if I spit it out? And they said, no, you can't. I was like, oh.
Can't take a bite and spit it out. It's that serious.
That's how serious, that's how strict it is.
Now listen, I'm not a drug guy.
Yeah.
But I let people do whatever they want until it affects my life.
It started to affect this show. I understand
Starting to
that.
affect the Points Taken podcast. I bought a sign. All right, it's official. I've done this for 43 weeks now. 43 episodes now.
43 episodes, yeah.
So, yeah. Also, if you need to cleanse for 2 weeks to make the drugs work, maybe you need better drugs. I know people that go drinking and go to a club and dance their faces off, buy drugs anywhere, and do those drugs, and apparently they're great.
The cleanse is I guess a couple different things. It is meant to enhance. You pull all the sugars and sodium and everything out of your diet. It does enhance the effects. It's also kind of a discipline thing. You're supposed to be focusing your mind on cleansing, and this is all part of it.
I get it. I don't want to dump on people's things. I really don't. Until it messes with the Points Taken podcast.
Yeah, I probably should have waited till the summer to do it.
I mean, I know that it was very time restrictive. You had to do it with 2 weeks to go in the show.
Well, when I got asked to do it, they threw out a date, and I wasn't even paying attention to how close it got to the Super Bowl. It just wasn't even in my mind at that time.
So you didn't look at, like, maybe this is the day. You're doing it on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday, the day that the Super Bowl is decided.
Yes.
The championship game day.
But we're going to do it early enough where I can still catch the game.
Oh.
That's the plan.
Oh.
Or maybe record the game and watch it later.
A journey.
Yeah.
A journey, and then you're going to be like, all right, now it's time to just wind down and watch some football.
Yeah.
2 weeks of a very strict diet that we will get to in a second.
Yep.
And then I'm just going to, like, casually have a beer and some game day food.
Yeah, I can't even. I was just gonna fake it. Tell the person that I'm coaching that. Oh yeah. But they're a big fan of the show.
Okay.
So I can't even pretend like.
I know who your coach is, and I'm a big fan too. But my show is important to me. All right. What are these restrictions you're on?
All right, I'm gonna pull up the list.
Yeah.
I mean, the big things is no sugar.
We should flash this across the screen.
Yeah, maybe. But
Yeah.
no sugar and no salts. Like natural sugars, like fruit is okay, but anything with extra sugar, like no sweets or anything like that. No alcohol.
Okay.
No caffeine.
Okay.
That's the big one. And
That's
then,
tough. You
and then the
clear
last
out.
7 days is no sex or personal sexual gratification.
So no masturbation.
No
on top of it.
masturbating. So I can't. So this week was no caffeines, no sugars, no carbs, no sex, no masturbating.
And then at the end of this, is it a smorgasbord of intercourse or self-pleasure and meats and cheeses and alcohol?
I hope so. Either maybe in my mind, or maybe I'm gonna come down from this trip and it's just gonna be me shoving food in my face and jerking off, and the Sherman's gonna look at me like
Burger in one hand. The Sherman? Is it a shaman or a Sherman?
Sherpa, I don't know. Shaman, Sherman.
Is it a guy picking you up a mountain? Is it an old Jewish man? Or is it a spiritual advisor?
Spiritual.
It's a Sherpa, a Sherman, or a shaman.
This has got to be one of those three.
Walk into a bar. All right. Got to be a joke there somewhere. Yeah. Okay. So I applaud your discipline.
Yeah.
Again, I was in DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education. You know what that song sounded like?
I remember.
You remember the song?
I don't remember the song.
It said, dare to keep a kid off drugs, dare to keep a kid off dope, dare to give a kid some help, dare to give a kid some hope.
Wow.
That got so many kids off of drugs. That jingle.
I feel like that would have got him on drugs.
I hope that picked it up on the mic and it didn't mute us.
My DARE class didn't have that song.
We had a Dare Bear.
Oh.
Yeah. They're like, if you answered questions, and they're like, are drugs good or bad? You're like, bad. They give you a bear.
Nice.
Yeah. You learned a lot.
That's a hard one to fake, right? Like, I want the bear.
You learned a lot. Yeah. I mean,
bribing kids with bears.
They try. They're like, do you want a teddy bear? Or do you want like a blanket for when you've done all the drugs and you've made your family sad at you and you're very cold? So,
you can either cuddle with this warm bear tonight or sleep on the streets.
Yeah, exactly. Sleep on the street. And someone you'll eventually sell that blanket for more drugs because of what it does to your mind. But you're doing these voluntarily.
I am, yes.
And resisting all of your natural urges.
Yes, I am.
So good for you. Mm-hmm. Good for you. Now, you've been retired from stripping for 4 days.
Yes.
Are you still retired?
I am.
Okay.
No, that's official because I've been kind of retiring and unretiring for the last 6 months or so. But I talked to my agent. I'm just emceeing. I'm going to the shows to work the microphone, but I'm done dancing.
Okay.
I'm hanging up the thong.
Bullshit. But I'm good. I'm proud of you. Bullshit. But yeah. I mean, good for you. Bullshit.
I got asked to do it. I was at a show last Saturday down in Lockport, and the girl had money out, asked me to dance for her, and I said no.
How much money was it in her hand? Was it more than $4?
There was a big face on there.
There's a big face.
20.
It was at least a 20. You're like,
said,
no, madam.
I
have turned over a new leaf.
It is beneath me now. Nothing less than 100.
Not allowed. I'm not allowed to self-pleasure, so I'm not going to get involved in any of this stuff today. All right. I wish you a lot of luck. Thank you for retiring the game day food segment today.
Yeah.
Or did you? We'll see you later in the show. Let's talk some football. NFL picks.
All right, it's time for the NFL Playoffs Conference Championships. We're starting off with that first game Saturday is Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens. That is 2 p.m. Chiefs are plus 3.5 with a total of 44.
All right. I don't know what to say on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my conspiracy theory is still that they want Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. They want her there. I think she would get them millions more viewers. That's where they want the NFL to go. They're a crazy machine that's like, this is a dying product a couple of years ago, and now we want to just expand where it's the biggest thing on the planet.
I mean, the Super Bowl never really had a ratings problem, though, right? Maybe regular season?
No, but the only thing better than money to rich people is more money.
Yes, that's true.
So they are constantly trying to just crush everybody.
Yeah.
Win, win, win. Taylor Swift is no stranger to making a load of dough. So she gets it, and she knows what kind of power that brings.
Yeah.
So it's good for everybody here.
I mean, if she's in on it, she's selling it well.
The margins are so low.
Yeah.
And they brought in some ref for this game who apparently gives a big advantage to like the away teams or the underdogs or whatever.
Really?
There's a lot to this. I got Ray Stack sent me this article, and it kind of builds on, you know.
This conspiracy is getting so good.
But if the Chiefs win, it's legit.
Yeah.
Right? And even if they lose, I think Kelsey and Taylor Swift will be at the Super Bowl and they'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But like 2 wrong moves in an NFL game changes that, that projection.
Yeah.
How do they get these lines so close?
Yeah.
They know what they're talking about.
That is wild.
So if you trip somebody, that changes the whole game.
Yeah.
It's that butterfly effect of like that one move. So this is a really tough game to call. The Ravens look like a much better team.
Yeah.
A much better team.
Yeah, they definitely are. I know they had kind of a rough half last week, but I mean, they came out so strong.
Yeah. The Chiefs are just, I don't see it, but Mahomes has been there before. But I think it's Lamar's time. I really like the Ravens in a normal circumstance where Taylor Swift isn't ruining the outcome of these games. I don't believe that the games are predetermined. I really don't. A lot of people think that. I just think that the margins are razor thin.
Yeah.
And one or two mistakes or one or two bad calls could change everything. So what are we taking on this one, Sammy?
We're taking that over at 44.
Yeah. That's the only play for me, I think.
Yeah.
The team total for the Chiefs is 19.5. That's so low. And then the team total, it might have gone up to 20.5. But the team total for the Ravens is 23.5, which I kind of like that one too. So we're just going to take the total 44 there.
Yeah.
But I also took a prop, and we'll probably take more props at Exit Point Second Pod. Lamar Jackson over 210.5 passing yards. I like that one. I kind of looked it up. He's been stepping up against good teams in big situations, and he's had a lot of big games. So I think 210.5 is pretty low on this one. He'll be running a lot, but they'll also be trying to stop that run. He's going to have to throw a bit. I'm also looking at Odell Beckham Jr.'s over 20.5 yards. I mean, for him, that's like one catch. And Zay Flowers over 44.5 yards. I mean, that could be one catch for him. He's been lighting it up. So, yeah, I mean, we'll go back to it. Let's just look at where we're at here. You and me and Kitty, we all predicted Ravens San Francisco Super Bowl. So we're Ravens. We're halfway there.
I can't believe Ravens don't make it. I just don't believe the Chiefs can pull it off.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm sticking with Ravens too, and Kitty's sticking with Ravens. And let's see if we're all. And Kitty told me her pick on this one. She's out of town. But again, thank you for this this little what she did here.
Yeah,
did
very
a great
nice
job. All right, last game. What do we got, Sam?
Sunday night game. It's the Detroit Lions at San Francisco 49ers. The Lions are +7 and the total of 51.
That's a tough one. Okay, Kitty says she likes Niners. On this one, you and I are in on the same pick on this one.
Yes, we are.
What's Sammy's pick? And I said I like that too.
Yep.
What is it?
It's the Lions +7.
It's a lot of points.
It is. I think that's a high number.
It's a high number.
And they've been really dead on, like you were saying, but I don't believe Detroit loses that bad.
Yeah. I know the total 51's kind of nice, but it's a little high. I could see it blowing up. I mean, Detroit's defense is not great. McCaffrey's going to go crazy. Brock Purdy, should have a big game. But I don't know. Lions +7. I like it.
I mean, I've been kind of expecting Detroit to fall apart sometime in the postseason, but I mean, they look so strong. Maybe Vegas thinks this is the game that they lose it, but they've been so hot. I can't believe they lose by more than 7.
Dan Campbell's getting something out of him. Sometimes you're like, a guy like that, he's kind of a meathead. He's the rah-rah guy. He's getting something out of him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys are playing out of their minds. San Francisco is a much more talented team in a lot of areas. But this is going to be interesting. Yeah. I like this game. Like I said in the last episode, the first game, I will be at my daughter's dance recital, so I will be checking the phone a lot when she's not dancing. When she's dancing, locked in.
Yeah.
When she's not dancing, it's other people's children. I will be watching the game on my phone very, very indiscreetly. And a lot of other dads will be.
I was going to say, I think that's the expectation with all dads in the room.
There'll be a groan. What? Dancing. There was a dance move wrong. Yeah. I also like another play here. Jamison Williams, over 27.5 receiving yards. That's one guy. He usually gets like 4 targets. He usually catches 1 or 2 of them, but he's a deep ball threat. 27.5 is a little low. Another Bama guy I like, not a homer at all. Don't be a homer. Jameer Gibbs playing really, really good. I'm such a Bama guy. Jameer Gibbs. His rushing total is over 48.5. He could break one. He could break a big one. And then his receiving total is over 22.5. I got to look into it more. But if they're throwing him a lot of screens, he could break those, and they could set up some really big plays for him. So I might look at that too. But again, we'll post them at Exit Point Second Pod. Sammy, you could even it up for the season, going into the Super Bowl for all the marbles for a winning record.
Yep.
I'm going to be just fine with a 79, 66-2 in the season, unless I take a ton of props and it all goes downhill.
That sounds like you taking a bunch of props.
For the Super Bowl, we will have 2 weeks dedicated to props.
Yeah.
Props,
Love
baby.
it.
I love all the props. We will find the best ones for you. Nothing like betting a bunch of props on the Super Bowl. First of all, heads or tails? I always take it.
You got to do it.
I always take it. It's the first bet.
50-50. Come on, you can't beat those odds.
I take how long the national anthem's going to take. And you throw a couple bucks down on there. You're having a good time. And then by halftime, you're like, I never gamble again. Last season for me. I've made bad mistakes. Won't do it again next year. And then by the next day, you're like, I can't wait for next season. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm hungry. I bet you're hungry too.
Yeah, I'm starving.
All right. Let's figure something out.
Is this game day food?
Sammy,
Yeah.
it's time for everybody's favorite game day food segment that you tried to fuck up this week. Is this game day food?
No.
Sam, who do we have with us today?
We have the infamous twin, Eric.
How's everyone doing today?
I don't think anybody believed that you had a twin.
No, they all thought I was making it up, and it was, which is a good way to get out of trouble, right? Like, no, that was definitely my twin.
Yeah.
Been blaming me his whole life.
Yep,
I feel like Eric was the evil twin earlier, and now you look like the evil twin.
that's pretty true, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The clean shaven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
And then this, I just retired from stripping, liar, twin.
Third time.
Yeah. We talked about this before you got here. You were busted, Samuel.
No secrets today.
Eric, are you on a cleanse for a drug trip anytime this week?
I am not.
Well, then would you like to have a burger with
I
me?
would love to have a burger.
Cheers, my brother. I feel like I've gained a brother, and you've lost one today, Samuel.
It was like the grease was like dripping through the bag when I was delivering this food.
Oh, this is the best one ever.
Oh, look, they even branded the top of it.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a bite, and then I'll rank what I think you would score it as.
Same
We
type
go
of bite,
0
or-
to 10. Yeah. And then you rank what I'd do. Okay. And then Sammy, you describe what's on these while we're doing this.
So this is the Chef Burger from BurgerFi. These are Angus burgers with sautéed onions and cheddar cheese. That's it. Lots and lots of grease and calories.
It's so good.
I'm smelling it.
If there was another reason not to do drugs, it's this burger. All right.
Caramelized onions, I said.
After 2 bites, am I all right?
You're good.
As many as you want.
You're good. We're making it real casual around here. Sammy doesn't care about the show anymore. He's good. It's all about him. All about him. All right. You score yours and score mine. So I'm gonna guess what you wrote, what you ranked this at.
Eric's over here right in his side like James gonna cheat.
Oh,
And
yeah.
He might actually. He does. He's really good with the side eye. That's how he got through college.
Eric, I think you gave this an 8.3.
No.
What is it?
5.5. It was just, I didn't think it had like a slap to the face.
Yeah.
What?
What do you think I gave this?
You know what? I was going to give it lower until you said it was really good, but I went with
6.2.
6.2.
I gave it an 8.5.
Okay. At first, your face, you kind of were looking at it like you were unsure, but then you said it was real good, and I'm like, oh, maybe he's throwing me for a loop.
No, it's legitimately good. You scored a little bit higher because I want him to be miserable.
Oh, I wasn't over that. Okay. It's not a terrible burger.
In your mouth, man.
Just changed the score to 9.
Oh, yeah. Best burger of my life.
So good. And then you got this hot sauce, Sam. What is this?
These are beer flavored hot sauces. This one is a lager flavor.
Lager flavor. We're in. Okay. Let's try this.
I just touching the bottle felt good.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you going to eat tonight, Sam?
Probably a whole lot of air. You know, just some boiled chicken and some vegetables. Just
This-
the most boring thing you can think of.
The dancer diet.
Yeah.
This better be the greatest drug trip you've ever had.
I hope so.
Try this. Hey, yeah. Your shaman better be proud of you. You were giving up the weekend. You're giving up game day food. And thanks for being on a sports show where you're going to miss the championship games. Or maybe you'll really enjoy them. All right. All right. So we don't have to really rank this,
Okay.
but yay or nay?
I'm saying yay.
I'm saying yay too. I think it's pretty
I
good.
thought a good flavor. It's not burning your mouth. Like, you're not looking for a glass of water, but it's got a little spice, and I really like the flavor of it.
Yeah. I like all this food. Oh, Sam, it's so good. Oh.
I'm gonna put this on my pillow tonight, and I'm gonna sleep on top of it.
You have to come back and tell me that you had a life-changing experience.
Okay.
You cleared out a lot of emotions. You went through a journey. And then I'll be okay with this.
I agree. If I don't go through that, I'm going to be disappointed myself.
Because missing the games, missing game day food, taking very little sips of game day drinks at the end of our run of season 1.
I might not miss the games. I might still be able to make that game.
Yeah.
It's just Sunday's game, and I think I'll catch it still.
How many times do I have to threaten to fucking fire him from a show he's made no money, spent money on?
I want to be excited for Sam's trip because I've heard that people have like emergency runs to the bathroom. So if Sam actually shits himself,
Yeah. Oh,
then I will be happy for him.
please film that. It'll be great content.
I will tell the people I'm with, like, if you see me about to poop my pants, just hit record.
You know how many clicks we would have.
Highest rated show I've ever made.
Which wouldn't be much. But it would do it for the show. Sammy, even if you don't have to, yeah. Just go that morning after you've not had anything and just load up on some of these BurgerFi Delicious Chef burgers. And then drop whatever bullshit drug thing you do and pretend like it's going to help you. And yeah, whatever. Am I shitting on drugs too much? Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Drugs are good now.
We've just alienated our fans.
Drugs. They just can't do them, unfortunately.
They sound amazing.
They do.
They sound amazing. Not for me, but they said, people are like, why don't you ever try them? I'm like, I'm almost 45.
Kitty drug test.
I've gotten this far. You know, you don't want to like pick up a drug habit at 45.
No.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're not winning at life.
Yeah.
When you get in that habit.
Just alcohol. Just alcohol habits. That's all.
Oh, no, when you pick it up at 40, that's when you made some bad decisions.
People that I know around here that do a lot of edibles and do a lot of fun things. And I see them at school pickup, and you can tell which are which. They're like evening it out with a glass of
I've heard
shit
horror
Chardonnay.
stories about school pickup, so I feel like it's almost a must for some people.
In your job profession, have you? Oh, okay. Have you seen any bad horror stories? Probably not. I thought you were talking about something else. But yes, school pickup is very difficult sometimes.
Oh, my job, yeah, we see a lot of people not handling their drugs or alcohol, especially Friday nights, Saturday nights.
I've heard
People that, like, it's Friday, I gotta go out and drink a whole
Yeah.
bottle that they've never drank before. And then they end up in the street with vomit all over themselves. Yeah, I've seen that.
It's tough. It's tough.
Just so everyone knows, Eric is a valet driver,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he is a Chicago firefighter.
Well, I need you to stick around for one more segment because we have something to talk about in the news. All right?
All right.
Thanks for stopping by and being a real man and having a burger
Delicious. I eat real food.
with your boy.
I don't eat grass clippings from my lawn.
So it has to be over 6.4 to be game day food. You're saying no. I'm saying yes. I'm in. Thanks, BurgerFi. Maybe we'll get them warm next time.
It smelled like game day food.
I hope you hated it every second of that. Eric Schaefer, thanks for sticking around.
My
Sammy,
pleasure.
what else is in the news?
After a house party in Kansas City for the Chiefs-Bills game last Sunday, 3 Chiefs fans were found frozen to death outside of the home.
Did you guys hear this story?
I did.
I did not.
Okay. So this guy, Jordan Willis, was renting the home. He had a watch party. Maybe he passed out. Some text messages came in. He ignored them. Some friends were beating on the door. They're like, where are these 3 guys? Nobody answered. Then the cops were beating on the door, and the guy, the renter of the house, this Jordan Willis, comes with like an empty wine glass, and is like, what's going on? And they're like, well, you had a party on Sunday, and 3 people are missing. Their cars are out front. And he's like, I don't know where they are. And the cops are like, don't you find it weird that the cars have been here for 2 days? It's like, didn't seem suspicious to me. And they're like, don't you find it weird that you haven't heard from them? And why aren't you responding to the text messages from their loved ones? He's like, and then he said, I was listening to headphones near a loud fan. Well, this was on Tuesday,
Wow.
and the game was on Sunday night.
So a real upstanding citizen. He had nothing to do for 2 days straight but listen to music, it sounds like.
So they search the house, they go in the back, and the 3 people are frozen. 1 guy's on the porch in a chair, and 2 guys are in the backyard, frozen in chairs.
Were they mid-drink?
Don't know. But the guys they were all like in their late 30s. One guy had 3 kids. I mean, it's a bad story.
Yeah.
So one of the dads comes out today and said, this guy did something. We can't prove it, but he's a what is he, a HIV analyst.
Okay.
So they're like, he knows science, he knows, all these things. The father said he drugged him, and he dragged him outside and put him in the chairs, and they froze to death. And it's something very ominous. I don't know. What do you think on this? That's the facts we have so far. The police captain said this is 100% not a homicide. We are not looking at this as a homicide at all. But how do you do that until you get the toxicology report.
I'm taking this. I've thrown many parties in my life, and honestly, I could care less what happens to people that come to my house. I've never checked in on people the next day to make sure everyone got home, so I don't think he did anything wrong. He had a good time and passed out.
It's definitely possible they just fell asleep outside. I mean, they could have walked to their car. It's not really on him. He went inside to go to bed. They froze to death. I agree there. That's on them.
I've seen this guy passed out in a bush before, so
Yeah.
it happens.
I feel like if he wakes up, Monday morning, scratches his ass, goes, "Why are those cars outside?" and looks out the back, and his 3 friends are like this. You go, okay, that was one of Jordan's worst parties.
Or
Top 5 bad party.
Or maybe really good. I mean, someone died in your party. You can brag about that. Like, hey, people die at my parties.
What a rage. Yeah. Wasn't expecting these takes from the twins here.
Well, you've been out of the game for a while.
I guess so. I don't throw these parties like that. Usually it's a lot of parents and they have a babysitter till 11. We've not had one frozen to death incident in my backyard.
You haven't lived.
Well, I guess not.
We always had the rule, like especially in Vegas, like if you disappear from the group and you get beat up, that's on you.
Yeah.
Because we always assume you're with a girl.
Yeah.
That's the rule. Hey, if you disappear from the group, you found a girl.
Yeah.
Maybe similar situation. It was on them.
I kind of like that rule for men. Like, I don't like that rule for women.
Yeah.
Like, we're just going to assume you're with a dude. And then they're like, trafficked. God, this fucking segment's getting bad. I'm going to have more burger. So, you guys have no sympathy.
I mean, Eric, you know more about this blood analysis, but I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Being an HIV, yes, that's very conspiracy theory. What is an HIV analysis going to be doing at his house with someone's blood?
I don't know, but they're saying, maybe he was, he had experience with pharmacology or whatever, and he drugged him and wanted to, he's a psychopath.
I mean, it's possible, but you don't have to be an analysis. You can just be a psychopath and drug people.
Yeah.
So.
I just think that he didn't know anything, and that people were calling him, and it was 2 days.
The 2 days later is on.
Yeah, all right, I'll give you that. 2 days, like a day later, I don't care. Maybe 2 days later. I mean, at some point you do have to go in your backyard. So
Yeah, and here's the other thing: the Chiefs won, so I can understand if they lost, and you didn't want to talk to your buddies for a few days. But the next day you'd be like, "Hey, where'd you guys go? Fucking Chiefs, dude!" And there was none of that. So I'm not buying this at all. I think there's something very, very sinister going on here. And this
because you watch too much CSI, probably.
I do watch a lot of CSI and true crime documentaries.
People aren't smart enough for that. You
Yeah.
got to think like low when it comes to mentality. These people are just drunk.
I think you're right. But I do think that there are monsters that live among us. I
Yes.
really do. There are bad people. The Jeffrey Dahmer thing, watch that. There are really some terrible people that live just right amongst us.
Yes.
So, I mean, we have evil Sam here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, an evil twin.
Yeah.
I've
So,
been terrified of my whole life.
yeah.
My parents, we had to share a room for like the first 10 years of our lives. It was terrifying.
It's just, yeah. Just that and then wiener comparisons all day, I presume. Any different?
No, we established dominance on that. Real. Check that one.
Is there any difference? No.
Well, we were actually Siamese twins. We were connected at the dick, right? And the doctor kind of like went too far one way.
Yes.
So I got the short half, you got the long.
Nice. Good for you.
So we don't need to, we didn't have to compare the rest of our
I
lives.
think we know everyone's done Team Eric now. All my lady friends are like, "Ooh, Sammy, a stripper." I'm like, I'm attractive too. You like this? Do I look pretty now?
Well, maybe that's what his cleanse is hoping that it's gonna like
Yeah.
push it out a little.
Exactly. Just pop that button out a little
He
bit.
read some internet rumor that this is what it's good for. It's
Yeah.
gonna enlarge your penis.
I'm down.
Release the Kraken.
I'm down.
He tried the pump. It didn't work.
Yeah. Well, much like the Taylor Swift conspiracy theory I've had all season long, I think this guy's full of shit. I think something weird is going to come out about that. If it was just the next morning, I would say, "Oh man, this guy's
Yeah.
bad break. They just had too much, or whatever."
Yeah, the loud fan thing is
Yeah,
fan.
and this does not seem like an accident. And also, he doesn't seem like very upset. I don't know what the whole story is, but he was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
my friends are dead." He's like, "Oh, I guess I have 3 cars now." I don't know. So,
Does that make them mine now since it's my property?
is possession 9/10 of the law in their car? Do I have all their stuff? to have their children and wives now? Yeah. So we'll see what happens in this story. We will get back to it if we hear anything new. And Sammy, there's another story. This it's a little less horrible.
Yeah, we're gonna put a negative spin on everything.
Playboy magazine founder Hugh Hefner's ex-wife, Crystal Hefner, claims the publisher and sex icon was bad at sex.
Yeah. She said, I was relieved when it stopped.
Wow.
Yeah, Hugh's been dead for a little while. And she comes out and writes this book about him. Okay, so she was born in 1986, and here she is. She is not unattractive. Very good looking. Hugh had that type. He liked the tall, busty blonde. Another one. I mean, come on. Very attractive. And he was born in she was born in 1986, and he was born in 1926. And there is that old prune.
Looking pretty good for his age. I mean,
Looking pretty good for his age,
I
man.
mean, when all you do all day is have sex with girls half your age,
Yeah.
how bad can you look?
wear a robe.
Yeah, I know. He died at, I think, at 91. And he's just like, hey, life's been good to me.
I put this thing where?
I'm a captain. Yeah. So they got together when she was 21 and he was 81. She said he was odd and robotic in bed. He never made eye contact. Apparently, they had like group sex all the time. And it was like a whole thing. Like you had to climb on top of him, do that little ride. And he wouldn't look at the women. He would look at the mirror on the ceiling and whatever porno was on. He always had to have music on. And she was like, this is boring. I'm sorry, was she expecting sex with an 80-plus-year-old man to be like wild? She's like, when I was younger, I had teenage boys that were more into it. I'm like, of course teenage boys were more into it.
They're gonna slam their dick in a car door if they can.
Can you imagine being a teenage boy with that girl?
Oh
Wow.
God.
Oh my God. And she's like, yeah, they were kind of into it.
That's the best day of their life so far.
Greatest day. She broke up with those guys and they just jumped into an active volcano. They're like, this will never get any better. I want to keep this feeling.
Peaked at 16.
Yeah, Crystal, whatever her last name was. I love that she kept Hefner. She's like, I want to trade on that, but also trash his old dead bones.
Yeah, after he's dead, no.
She must.
This is more telling about her than him, for sure. Like, she knew in her 20s this was terrible.
Yeah.
But she kept the name still, like, she traded. Yeah, this is more about her being a terrible person. I'm sorry.
I have zero sympathy for her.
No,
She sold her soul for fame and some money.
Just fine.
And she was like, you know that old bag of bones that I was supposed to fuck, for fame and a little bit of cash with other people? She was like, the group sex was actually way more fun. I'm like, okay, good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy will tell you it probably is, but she said there was no emotional connection. I mean, he knew why they were there. I can understand why he'd be bored with it.
I mean, he made a magazine about it. Everyone knew why he was there.
And he's been doing it his whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely an R-rated episode. I do not want my children watching this one.
I love how she was like, I'm going to change him. Like, what? No, this is what he does.
It's like Sammy Hagar says, when it's all sex without love, come on. Said the real thing is pound cake. Don't we all quote that song a lot like I do?
No, that's just you.
It's all sex without love? Come on. The real thing is pound cake. But yeah, I mean, but really, like if you're getting 20-year-old, 21, early 20s blondes since you were 30, by the time you're 81, you're like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
Can we just watch a little TV?
Well, she has to bring something to the table that is mind-blowing and he's never seen before, and chances of that are pretty slim.
I mean, at one point when he was probably like 55, they stopped looking at him and been like, maybe I could, love this guy. When he's 81, he's just sitting there.
Yeah.
She said he had to take a lot of Viagra.
A little drool coming down.
Yeah. And she's like, why isn't he more into me? It's like, he's dying. He has to wear the robe while he's doing it because his body is dying. It's failing. He's freezing. He's freezing, doll. So even though you're a hot number, that wasn't going well. He just had to keep up that image of like, he's still doing it. Look at his girlfriends. And he's like,
It worked.
I'm a victim of what I've created.
I can't stop this monster.
Yeah. Whatever. He seemed like a kind of a weird guy. But he helps some men out with pornography before you could go click every pornography thing ever.
He really changed the world. I'm not mad at him.
He did. He did. I think he was a little creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He exploited some people, but people that wanted to be exploited, he didn't hold anybody down. He didn't drug them and keep them there.
I don't think he was creepy at first. The idea of just, naked girls that are into it. But when he was banging these girls that were half his age, and then he started exploiting them, yeah. Maybe someone should have called him out.
So you're against men banging women half their age, are you, Samuel?
I told you I've been trying to grow up. But I should say a third his age.
Can we stop him here? Can we stop? I told you I've been trying to grow up. Anyways, if you need me on Sunday, I'll be on a drug trip.
That's part of growing up. That's part of the experience.
This is new to me. I don't think you're growing up at all.
Here's the grown-up version of you that looks a lot like you. Be more like him.
Be like me. Fine, outstanding citizen.
All right. You've eaten all the shit you can eat in one episode. We still love you, Sammy. Eric, thank you for filling in. Boys, it's been a great time. These are my boys. We go way back. We go
I
way back.
appreciate coming to this fine studio. Joe Rogan would be.
Listen,
He would be impressed. Yes.
put a lot of money into this mudroom. If you scan around and see my children's backpacks on the floor. Rogan's got kids' shoes everywhere and just papers and
Just out of frame.
just that frame.
They know how to frame it better.
Absolutely. Couple more shows left.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do a live show at the end before we finish this up. Season 1's ending, but we will definitely be back for season 2. Thank you for watching. We will have more stuff on X at Points Taken Pod and Instagram at Points Taken Pod. We will see you on Tuesday. Thank you.